morning, and thanks very much for joining us on the second Future Print Virtual Summit. My name is Fraser Chesterman. I'd like to introduce you to my very good friend and colleague, Mr. Marcus Timpson.
Hello.
And to extremely good friends, Brendan Perring and Caris Kopp, who will join us today.
Hi.
Hello.
And they'll be doing a number of the introductions and interviews in the next 5 days. So we've got lots of exciting things to look at. And it's really great to have you with us today. And this is the beginning of that 5-day session that we've got over 120 speakers delivering some absolutely amazing content, really from around the world, you know, UK, US, Asia, Europe, and mostly pre-recorded. There is some live interaction, which I'll talk to you about in a moment, but it's all highly topical and super relevant for our current situation. So looking forward to it. Yeah, Marcus and I, you know, we're live event specialists, so we continue to believe that live events are really important. But I guess with current climate, difficulties we're having at the moment, this is a really good opportunity for us to continue to share great ideas, to discuss the new products that are out there, and to continue to champion the cause of print and packaging. So that's really our vision here. So hopefully you'll enjoy what we've delivered and what we're delivering, and the next few days will be a great experience. We're looking at something like, unbelievably, 3,000 people registered for this event. And as I said, this is a global event. And looking through the list, we're pretty much talking about people from around the world. And I don't think within the next couple of months there'll be anything like this. So we're so pleased that we've delivered something that's really quite special. Good to see some great support from some very exciting businesses out there, one of which is this company, Lander, who many of you will know. Always causes a great stir at Drupa, and we're really pleased that they have become, for the first time, a headline partner with us. And so that's a really great initiative. And to be honest with you, we've got a huge raft of support from a load of big names in the industry, many companies who are new to the virtual summit and have chosen to launch something or to showcase a product that they haven't showcased already in the next few days. So, you know, we've got some really exciting stuff coming up. Now, looking at the program for the next 5 days, I'll just take you through it quickly and get the guys to introduce a little bit about what they're doing. So obviously today, the first day, really interesting because we've come up with this initiative, which is very much about bringing young people into the print industry, and we call it Young Guns, Future Generation. Caris, it's been great, hasn't it? It's been such an amazing response to this.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And you know, talking to the people involved, all the speakers that we're going to see throughout today, it's going to be a really inspiring session. The first summit, you know, more than 55% were in the 18 to 35 category. And I think that just made us all think, wow, the virtual aspect really democratizes the information and the sessions, and why not, you know, celebrate young people in the industry with a whole day of content aimed around young people, you know, young leaders, young entrepreneurs in print, people who might be in education or considering a career in print. And even, you know, there's a lot that seasoned kind of print professionals can learn from young people in the industry as well. So it's something for everyone today. It's going to be a fantastic day of sessions.
And you're going to share a couple of
highlights
in this.
I will, yeah. I'll go through a couple of highlights in just a minute.
Thank you very much. The Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just taking you through that. So Tuesday will be industrial print. Wednesday is wide format retail and sustainability. Thursday, packaging and labels. And mainly Marcus and I have done most of the interviews on those days. So Marcus, do you want to say anything specifically about those 3 days?
Yeah, only that I think we've got some of the world leaders there, really. So it's not entirely around technology, although we have some great sort of, I guess, new innovations that have come to market. So I think that's been a big gap in that people are still innovating. People perhaps have changed their innovation plans, but still want to know what's possible with some of the new tech, in particular inkjet for industrial and also wide format. As well as that, we've got some analysts. So where the market's going in terms of numbers, so we've got a particular session called Packaging 2040, which is quite interesting. So I'm going to look at how packaging will be changing. But also, as you say, sustainability has come through, some really interesting innovations there, and some great designers providing some insight as to how they're utilising the technology to create new value. So there's lots of energy, optimism and creativity there, really.
Yeah, thank you. And exactly as you say, there are certain highlights, aren't there, within the industry at the moment that actually are doing quite well. Decor being one, packaging being another, and obviously we've picked up on that, and some of the sessions really focus on that. You've got some really good trend analysis from people like Mark Hanley, Colin McMahon, Tim Green, Sean Smith. So we've kind of brought in the guys who understand the trends. And really put something together that's, fantastic, exciting, interesting, and informative. So looking forward to the next 5 days there. And finally, on the Friday, we've got Brendan doing the commercial print day. Brendan.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. I mean, what I think has come back from all of the talks, the session leaders, and all of the delegates that I've certainly spoken to that are registered for sessions is that this summit is such an important initiative to help people keep their heads up. Out of all of the different segments, sadly, commercial print has been hit harder than any other by the global pandemic. But events like this that connect people, inform them, inspire them, educate them, keep them up on trends so that they can keep their business, in the right zone for when we come out of this period. And even on top of that, help them see how they can diversify and move their business during this period is just so fundamental to not only their business health, but actually their psychological health. I mean, when we went through to the Remo networking that you guys did the other day, and I would massively recommend everyone do the Remo networking. It is so much fun. It was fantastic. Everyone came away from that Remo networking session just saying, oh, that was so refreshing. I took a day out. I went and met loads of people. It was like sitting at a cafe in Drupa, meeting random people that connected with that friend that I didn't know, and someone sat down at the table, and yeah, it was just so good. And, I think it really lifts people's spirits. So, specifically for commercial print, we'll take you through that later. There's a lot of really interesting content, both technology led, but also business focused and led. So again, there's something there for everyone. And I think as it fits into the whole summit, it's just, it's an incredible feat that you guys have pulled off with all of these sessions, the number of delegates. So, thanks very much for having us, and very well done to you.
No, thank you very much, Brendan. That's very kind of you. Exactly as Brendan says, just to point this out, every day around the 1 o'clock time, we have the Remo networking session. This really gives us a chance. I know it sounds odd in these current climate, a chance to actually network with people and go in and connect. And we've tried it a couple of times. It seems to work really effectively. When people get it, they love it. So we do encourage you to try this out. It's hosted by the Bespoke guys, who many of you will know from their PR work. And the idea really is that you go onto a table and you just have a conversation, connect, and just move on. And it's a great networking opportunity. Marcus, you're a big fan of Remo, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a new platform. It's it's not a replacement to the real thing, but from our research, looking at all the different platforms, it's about as good as it gets. It's quite intuitive, and you literally click on a table once you're inside it, and up pops your kind of head along with whoever else is on the table, and it's quite easy to network. You just need to add in your details, your photo. It uses your camera. It's like a little mini Zoom call on a table, and you can flit around throughout the hour onto a number of different tables and make lots of connections. So yeah, it is worth doing. Absolutely, as Brendan says, it's more than anything else, it's reconnecting with people, which is something we've really not been able to do for months now.
Yeah, and that's part of what we feel the summit is all about. So do use Remo, You just register, go onto the schedule and register click onto that session. There's one every day. Of course, you can come in every day. It's subject driven, as we said, but if you want to come in and just network every day, you can do that. We hope that what will happen is the speakers from that particular day will be around the Remo session in the middle of the day. So if you particularly want to have a conversation with one of the speakers from the morning, then come on in and there's a little speaker lounge. You can pop in there and have a conversation. So hopefully that will continue to create that sense of community that we're all wanting. And as we said, that's the purpose really of this event. It's very, very much about that. And we know it's tough out there. We know it's challenging out there, but it's clearly there are some areas of growth, some areas of investment, and some areas of innovation. And actually, that's what this event is all about. It's about highlighting that. And actually, on that note, Marcus, you've got some quite interesting research that we've just completed that we're going to share with you, just to give you an outline of some of those key areas of interest for the next few days. Marcus.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, basically, we have done some research, as you just indicated there, Fraser, in terms of the tone of the market. We did one in April. We did this research with Rico. And obviously, the key thing here is how has innovation been affected? I think that's one of the things, isn't it? That often when you have crisis like this, you would expect innovation or investment to stop. And what's perhaps optimistic about the results? We had 120 people fulfill so far the survey, and around 16 different countries. Is that whilst they are recognizing that innovation has been affected, actually it's not stopped, it's changed, it's moved on to a different level. And actually what people are doing is perhaps changing how they're innovating. They're solving problems that are different. Some are even saying that 50% they're actually innovating more now. So it's actually enabled with the change of structure and time and collaboration using some of the internet tools. I think people actually kind of maybe have more time or inclination to innovate. Clearly some have stopped, but only 5% have stopped their innovation plans. But actually what it's done is it's changed things. And that's heartening, isn't it? That actually people are still willing to move forward with innovation. And we also asked, how's it affected your plans to invest in new technology? Clearly 52% have said that it has changed our plans, but actually what they're doing is looking at different investment that enables new solutions for the situation we're in now. It's radically changed our lives and the way we work. But actually only a relatively small number, only 18%, have said actually all investment is now on hold. So clearly if there is a way to adapt your business, to look at different things and so on, there is still opportunity there for investment. The other final one is, what is your priority with technology now? And I think this kind of just sort of leads on from those questions, is that as you would expect, efficiency is priority. So technology that enables better efficiency is important because obviously we're under economic pressure. The tools that we have at our disposal, perhaps that weren't of interest 12 months ago, actually more, a heightened interest now to become more efficient, and also closely followed by, technology that enables new applications. As Brendan said, commercial print's hit very hard, but actually getting a sense that people are now, I guess the necessity is the mother of all invention, looking at new things to open up new application areas, utilizing the skill set and also some of the technology they already have. So yeah, there's some positive things out there. Compared to the research we did in April, which was much more around the industry in shock, it seems that industry is moving forward and adapting and starting to accept the new world that we live in. Yeah,
that's good news, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And I think it shows that actually whatever's happening out in the wider world, humans need to innovate will continue. We continually want to solve problems and adapt and so on. And I think there are two broad responses that I've noted from the crisis that's linked really to mindset. The one is to kind of close everything down and wait for the storm to pass, which I guess is an understandable response. But then you come out the other end and perhaps the storm hasn't passed as we're finding now. And the other one is to just adapt, try things out, fail, but try again, try again. And actually, by doing that, pushing yourself out your comfort zone, you're moving forward. So you're taking back control in a way of the situation. So you're kind of going, actually, I can't control what's happening in the wider COVID world, but I can control how I respond. And the ones that are moving forward and adapting are the ones I think they're going to succeed in the future.
Yeah, that's really good. Really, really good news. And interesting, compared to some markets, some industries, maybe the events industry or the hospitality industry, the print industry is in quite a good place, really, isn't it? It has an opportunity to innovate. There's some real lights at the end of the tunnel, which is great news. Karis, I just want to bring you in and get you to share. Thanks very much, Marcus. Just share a little bit about your sessions, because obviously we're looking to the future and everything that holds. We're talking very much about future generation, particularly on young people in print and trying to encourage people into this industry. So what have you got? What are the bits you'd like to sort of particularly highlight from today?
Yeah, absolutely. If I just share there. So yeah, firstly, as I said before, we realized that there was, many more young people or younger people in the industry that attended the first summit, people that wouldn't necessarily get the opportunity to attend events or exhibitions, in the physical events. And so it's a really good opportunity to put together content that focuses on them. And just carrying on from what Marcus was saying, they're taking us through some of the survey findings. There were a couple of findings relating to young people in the industry. More than 80% felt their sector could be doing more to support young people at the start of their careers. Which I completely agree with. There's a lot more to be done. And that's something that we discuss in a few of the sessions. What more could be done? What opportunities are there that we're not taking advantage of? And do you believe any of the following to be useful to support the careers of young people in your industry? And we went through some of the possible, routes that people can take. In-house career support, industry mentorship, grants, apprenticeships, and collaboration with schools and universities and education facilities kind of came out on top as what most people chose as being something that would be really helpful. And that's really interesting. And that's something that we touch on a lot in a few of the sessions because there does need to be more awareness of the opportunities there are in the industry. We don't get enough people saying that they want to pursue a career in the industry. It's more people fall into it, and that's, the first session of the Young Guns program is a panel called Falling into Print, which is, a bit tongue in cheek in the name because it's, people say, oh, I just fell into it and I've progressed in my career. And so we go through different journeys in that panel into, how people got into the industry. And then we look a bit at how can we make it something that people aren't falling into? It's something that they're pursuing deliberately in their different sectors because they realize it's a vibrant, thriving industry with so many opportunities in so many different sectors. So really interesting findings there. And also there you can see, do you think COVID-19 will dramatically affect career prospects for young people in your industry? And unfortunately, I'm sure we can all, we're not surprised by the findings there that it's yes and somewhat, and only kind of about 12-13% said not at all. So it's more important than ever that we have this program and that we're getting insights and advice from people that can help young people in the industry. Yep. And just a little bit here on some of the sessions to look forward to. Really incredible mixture and diverse range of sessions. There's panels that focus on, as I was saying there, different challenges, different opportunities, different routes into the industry, different sectors, a real mix of insight and advice from young people and showing that there are so many different ways to get into the industry. And then there's sessions that focus on really entrepreneurial, incredible young leaders that just happen to, fall into that under 35 category, but doing incredible things in the print industry. And as I said before, there's amazing opportunities for, perhaps people who are more seasoned professionals, further on in their career, that could learn a lot from the young guns in print, because there's, how to increase your visibility in a digital world, becoming a brand ambassador, how to make sure you're utilizing social media to your full potential for your business. So, there's a lot of content that will help young people maybe starting out in their career or wanting to progress or considering a career in print, but also people who might be looking to the future and how the industry is evolving and how they can make sure that they're keeping up with everything there. And here just a few of the companies that are participating in Young Guns and that have incredible young people, in their workforce that are going to be speaking. Landa, Solimar, Epson, Canon, Intergraph, Czar, Women in Sign and Graphics, loads of incredible companies, more than are here, but just a taste of some of the speakers that we have today. So it's I have to say, doing the pre-recorded sessions and talking to people, it was just so inspiring. And I came away from everyone thinking, God, that's going to be the best one of the program. And then I do another one and I think, no, that's going to be the best one. They were all really, really amazing, passionate young people. So yeah, it's going to be an incredible day to look forward to.
Looking forward to it. I mean, what you've done is a brilliant job of bringing together, stuff that's going to be really interesting for both young people and people from the industry who've been in the industry for a long time, because there's some looking to some of those entrepreneurs to see what they've done, really, really valuable at the moment. So Marcus, do you want to pick up on a couple of the things that are your highlights for the 3 days, 3 middle days?
Yeah, well, I have to start off with the keynote we have on the Tuesday, which is the author of Funky Business, is one of my favorite business books. It was a real breakthrough book, I think, as a brilliant distillation of change, really. And the Jonas Ridderstraal is delivering the keynote around leadership and adaptation, about how the world's changing, what we perhaps need to do to effectively adapt and really sort of as leaders and lead our businesses into the future in a positive and prosperous way. So that's a really good set the tone for the second day. Then we have obviously industrial print focus. So we have Rico delivering a session called First Principle, Accelerating Time to Market with Inkjet. One of the challenges with industrial print is that often Inkjet's working in new markets, in new manufacturing areas, and it's a challenge. Their theme is around first principle, in that often businesses look at technology first and then problem second. And the principle with this is you look at the problem first and then the technology. And so the theme around that, they'll have a look at how things go wrong, but equally how things can go right with first principles. So that's an interesting session. We've also got SIL, and they've got a really cool new technology that uses a process called diffusion, which is a kind of evolution of the kind of sublimation technology. And they're doing some really amazing work with some leading brands in terms of trainers, or sneakers as they call them in America, and different kind of clothing and stuff. So it's really interesting, it's new stuff, new opportunities, which I really like. Also people like Catalan, another content partner, they've got an amazing material of doing great things with that. And their kind of purpose is to rid the world of PVC, of wide format. So their material is really sustainable, and that's getting a lot of traction and interest. Canon have got a great session they've produced, which when creativity meets technology. We have Joran Tharaldson, who's a Norwegian designer. It's all around bringing to life classic Norwegian wallpaper design with brand new digital technology. So it's a really nice sort of blend of classic and new, so really worth checking that out. On the industrial day, Chemstream, a really innovative Belgian ink manufacturer, are doing some amazing things with inkjet 3D printing, and really particularly niche specialist areas like opticals and so on. So inkjet's amazing, isn't it? It can work on the one hand in wallpaper, and then you're talking about opticals, and it's the same base technology that is just becoming so adaptable and clever that it's working in so many different areas. So we've also got then Sun Chemical, the amazing power of inkjet inks. All of the components of the printing process are important, and it's an obvious thing to say, but inks, inks in new application areas are incredibly important. So they're talking about how, on the one hand, challenging it is, but on the other hand, the work they're doing to create new inks that just enable new possibilities and across different markets. So, and another area is software, of course. So Global Graphics are talking about unlocking new potential with software. Software can do so much within a new area of print technology to improve image, to improve production and finish and so on. But it's often unknown. It's an unknown thing. So we've got the experts there from Global Graphics helping us out to understand a bit more about what can be done. ZAR, we haven't heard from ZAR for a long time. They are John Mills CEOs delivering a thing on the new roadmap for Inkjet. They've got a really exciting new platform they've launched, which the stock market loves. So they've done a really good job there. And again, that's exciting. Still the leading independent inkjet manufacturer. And what they're going to present there is a really positive new thing called ImagineX, which is cool. And then we have Activa metal print, EcoLeaf. It's a packaging day, but it's an exciting new technology that enables a massive reduction in the use of foils. I mean, if you're thinking of luxury packaging, so printing onto, very, very sort of high-end cosmetics or and so on, what they've done with this product EcoLeaf is create a solution where you just use what you need, and it can be added into a traditional flexo off screen or even inkjet technology. That's really exciting. Again, it's new possibilities, but equally it enables reduction of waste and an increase in efficiency. So that's going to be, I think, particularly interesting. And then the final thing, Activa North America Technologies have a products around sort of direct to object. It's about decorating objects, and that's really interesting. And again, that's something that direct to shape perhaps has fallen off the radar a little in recent years, but it's come back with Activa's might and support behind it. I think that'll be an interesting thing for the future as well. So again, all of this is around creating new possibilities and new opportunities, and I think that's kind of what the market needs right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Marcus. That's really valuable. I'll just give you a couple of highlights from the wide format day on the Wednesday. Steve Lister, who was very popular last time, he's actually interviewing Nick Widowston, who was leading light at Unilever for many years, now runs his own business, own consultancy. So he's giving, between Steve and Nick, they really give us some insight into retail trends that are always very useful, particularly in the wide format market. There's obviously a lot of interest in the interior decor market. Marcus mentioned it. We've got Terry Raghunath and Vivek Arora, who are two real specialists in that interior decor market. That's seen a bit of a surge, as you can imagine, through DIY and through general interest in interior decor and decorating your house throughout the COVID crisis. That's had a pickup, and that's a really good session to give us some views on designs. So that's good to have. And then one other point, that one of the things about this whole event is that we have, as Marcus mentioned, some brand new technology that hasn't been seen. Muto are doing a partnership with a company who specialise in the sort of packaging labels market, and Muto and CGS Oris have brought out a brand new piece of kit, really for designers, actually, that can do very short run labels and packaging for bottles, that sort of thing. So really interesting stuff that we're seeing, and it's great that we've got brand new launches taking place at this event in the next few days. Brendan, commercial print, what have you got for us?
Yeah, thanks very much, Fraser. I'm just going to share my screen with you, and listening to all of your introductions and all of the different sessions and the variety of them. What really inspired me right now in this session, actually, is what is also so fundamentally important about this initiative, which may not have been your designed purpose when you set it up, but specifically for commercial print, what is so important is that they start to look and make these connections with other markets, that they're making connections with packaging, industrial and wide format, because commercial printers over the last 20 years have very slowly, glacially moved towards these sectors. They've got a little bit involved with luxury short-run digital print packaging and personalization. They've got more involved with wide format. I'd say most SME commercial printers have now at least got an inkjet device in their premises, but it's still not a massive thing. A lot of them use trade print providers, so wide format's a little bit better. But basically, there is just an enormous amount of opportunity for the commercial printer to diversify their operation, which maybe before the crisis, they'd have another 5 to 10 years to do. Now, I think that's really come down to 2 years. They need to diversify now and move into these other sectors to complement what they're doing. And despite, specifically in the UK, and I know North America as well has been particularly affected, how the commercial print market's been hit. I just wanted to bring this slide up from our recent survey, which of the market in the UK. And just as a little bit of background, I'm the general manager of the Independent Print Industries Association, which is a trade association here, and also chairman of its sister group, the British Association for Print and Communication. And we do these surveys to get data back that we can then feed into government to help them produce policy on business and industry during this time. And as you can see here, do you have plans to open up new products? And astonishingly, even with the amount of pressure we're under, it's yes, 34%. Do you have plans to open new services? 55%. So the timing of this summit, with everything else that's going on, is not just about these individual days and segments. And I would seriously recommend, like, you might be in packaging, you might be in commercial print, you might be in wide format. Go and look at the other days. Go and look at all of those sessions and understand, and just go and consume them. In fact, if you're in commercial print, it might be even more important to go and watch the other days so that you get a flavor of all these different things. So I will now just take you over to the day. So I'm just going to bring that up. So on October 16th, we kick off with Nama Gonorgal from Landa, which is going to be an incredibly exciting session. I'm also particularly geekily excited about Landa because our latest quarterly magazine for our association was printed on a Landa monographic printing press at our member Route 1 Print. So that's fantastic. That's the first magazine in the UK to come out printed and gone out into the market on Landa. Doesn't smell of ink. Very weird. Just paper. We then move on to Mark Hinder and Andy Martinello, building the case for investment, stronger business models. When I went through and sat in on this session, it was really stimulating because Andy and the way that they have structured their organization at Strategizer and what they're doing with Rico is what the commercial print industry needs so badly, which is to move from a phase where the majority of printers see themselves as factories with a design department and a creative department, but that really their whole focus is on efficiency. What equipment and technology can we invest in to make ourselves faster, more efficient, and produce the same quality of goods cheaper? That's the overall mindset that still pervades our industry. But that cannot be the mindset going forward for the next 3 or 4 years. It has to now be on, which is Strategizer's whole case and what they're doing with Rico to help their customers and support their journey through this. The focus has to be on, right, what are my customers' businesses? What are they trying to achieve? What markets are they trying to move into? What are their goals and objectives? And how can I, as actually a print and communication provider, help them achieve those goals and objectives? So that's a really exciting session. We have the great privilege to have Beatrice Close, who's the Secretary General of Intergraph here, changes, opportunities and future scenarios in the printing sector. Again, really insightful session where she brings together so much data and information from around Europe and brings it together and identifies some really important key trends. And actually a lot of trends that give a lot of hope for the future, and especially around where trends where we're seeing individual European markets call on the excess capacity of other markets to fulfill demand and need because their own industry is suffering. So that was really interesting. We had the Rise, Fall and Restructuring of the Print Economy by Ralph Schloser from Digital Print Expert. That session was really interesting in how Ralph has managed to bring together really detailed information about what happened to the market, why that happened, where there's been now a rebound, and where those sectors are doing really well. So if you want to specifically see about where you should place your next investment, what technology you should be looking at, what markets you could get into that are growing, that's a really good one. We'll then have a panel discussion, which I'm chairing, with Kelvin Bell, Craig Smith, and Paul Stead. Kelvin and Craig are from VPress, and Paul is from ASL Group. And this is all about how to make your digital printer work 24/7. And that's really about e-commerce, web to print, online print software. vPress have a very well-established market share in the UK with this. And what's really interesting is that conversely, during COVID, they've seen their order levels explode, not just in the UK, but internationally, because fundamentally the buying model has changed. The habit of physical purchasing in retail environments and also through analog ordering has really shifted onto online, and that's accelerated massively. So there is a great pressure and demand on commercial printers now for it to be super easy to order, specify, and process print through an online cloud platform. So that'll take you through that. Matthew Parker, the Essential Sales Channel for 2020, a simple way to win new clients on LinkedIn. Fascinating session giving you some really grounded insights into how you can use social media to help grow not just your own personal network, but actually your business brand and profile. He dispels a lot of myths, and he also in a very grounded way helps you understand not just what to do, but why social media is important. This session, I'm really looking forward to feedback from delegates because it was just incredible. Matthew Faulkner, The Value Gap, What Marketeers Want and How PSPs Can Exceed Their Expectations. Brendan,
just whiz us through the last few because obviously timing wise, and we just want the highlights of the sessions if possible. Yeah, that's fine. So sorry, I'll just finish that one off and then I'll just pick out a couple of others. Yeah, just give us a couple of highlights because obviously we encourage people to look at all the programs and get the details themselves. Okay. So The Value Gap, What Marketeers Want and How PSPs Can Exceed Their Expectations. This session from Canon interviewed 250 marketeers from around the world to really get their views of how print service providers should connect with them and the work they should do. And if I run through, as you can see, there's just an incredible different variety. Solimar, they're doing great insights. Networking by Bespoke, which is Remo, which you mentioned earlier. We've got another session from Lander. Fascinating session from Pat McGrew. I urge everyone to go and check out. Lucy Swanston and Marion Stefani from my own organization, Don't Sell Print on Price. A really good session from Elizabeth Gooding on Inkjet. And as you can see, there's just an incredible wealth of and variety of content for Commercial Print Day. So look forward to seeing you all there. Thanks, Brendan. Sorry to cut you short. I mean, it's just such a packed day. I know you've seen most of the sessions, so you're excited by what you're seeing. Just one final note on the whole program. One of the things that we just encourage you to do is on the Wednesday afternoon at 5 o'clock, the vPress guys will be doing one of their Crown Pub sessions. Again, it's really easy to just register and come on in. Normally have 60, 70 people join us for that. That's a really exciting bit of end of day fun. I would just say to all of you, thank you very much for giving us the highlights of your sessions. Thank you very much, Brendan, Caris, Marcus, for putting all this content together. We really hope everyone enjoys the next few days. We've enjoyed putting it together. We think it's going to be something very special for the autumn, and enjoy it. Thank you.